Let me ask one other question here, and this gets in the weeds, and if we'll follow up on this in the days ahead.
Sure.
I've had some questions from some of the great folks from the FAA and air traffic control. In 2003, a law was passed that, granted, is fuzzy in some ways, but since 2003, the law has been dealt with on enhanced annuity rates, trying to encourage people that were frontline air traffic controllers to stay after their mandatory retirement and move to management, because we desperately need people in management that understand what's happening at that board. So since 2003, we've given an additional annuity to those folks to help make that transition to stay in management. In 2015, without a change in law, OPM just changed that policy, and now there's a disincentive for air traffic controllers to stay on, which makes it much more difficult. And now you're looking to bring in people that weren't necessarily at that board to come manage people that were at that board, or it discourages people from staying on and going into management because actually their pension goes down if they go into management. It's this really odd, perverse incentive, and I'm trying to figure out how OPM shifted the rules that had been in place and worked since 2003 when there was no change in statute. Do you know the background on that?
Thank you, Senator. And your staff did tell us this was an issue of concern, and we're continuing to work it. There was not a change in OPM regulations in 2015. The guidance that was issued after the law was written has remained in place. We are working with the FAA to make sure that there's consistent interpretation of that guidance and how that has played out. And so we are working with them to get to the bottom of this issue, and we're happy to keep you informed as we
Something
work
definitely changed there. FAA is saying it's OPM. OPM is saying we're trying to figure it out. We've got to figure out what just happened, because we don't want to have a gap in leadership moving into air traffic control for all of our public safety on that. We want to have good folks that stay there. And if we create a disincentive to go into management, then people will just say, I'm going to retire and do something else in the private sector, when we've got some very qualified folks.
Senator, we will continue to work the issue with the FAA, and we'll continue to stay in close touch so we can apprise you of our progress.
Please do. Thank you. And I appreciate the chairman's indulgence.